This is Ken from CV Performance, and this is the CV Performance Tuners Kit installation. Before beginning the installation, installers should adhere to all safety precautions outlined in the factory service manual. Never work on a fuel system or carburetor near an open flame or any heat source. Disassembly and installation of the Tuners Kit. Place the carburetor on its side and remove the side screw holding the throttle cable bracket. This is followed by the 4 screws holding the top cover. Be sure to hold your hand over the top cover to keep the slide spring from popping out as the cover is unscrewed and removed. Pull the slide out of the carburetor body and then remove the spring, plastic spring holder, and needle from the slide. At this time you want to inspect the rubber diaphragm of the slide. It should be free of any cracks or tears around the edges. If there are any cracks or tears, the entire slide will need to be replaced. On the underside of the slide there are 2 holes. The off-center hole is a small vacuum port, whereas the center hole is where the needle protrudes from when assembled. Using a drill and the supplied 7/64 drill bit, clean the vacuum hole of any burrs, but do not enlarge the hole any larger than the supplied drill bit. If the slide's vacuum hole has been previously drilled larger than 1/8 of an inch, the slide may need to be replaced. An oversized vacuum port hole will allow the slide to open and close too quickly, and this often leads to slide flutter. Turn the carburetor body upside down and remove the 4 screws holding the float bowl. Now pull the float bowl away from the carburetor, leaving the pump rod attached to the side throttle linkage. While the bowl is removed, take care not to apply any pressure or disturb the plastic float assembly, which could alter the level setting. Remove the pilot jet located inside the passage adjacent to the main jet. Using an 1/8" narrow screwdriver, locate the slotted head of the pilot jet and apply a couple light taps to the handle with a small hammer or piece of wood. This will free the threads and allow you to twist out the pilot jet. Now while applying downward pressure on the screwdriver, firmly twist the screwdriver counterclockwise to remove the pilot jet. Install a new pilot jet based on the supplied jetting table. Remove the main jet and emulsion tube. The main jet is screwed into the end of the emulsion tube and in most circumstances can be unscrewed together. If replacing only the main jet, hold the head of the emulsion tube with a small 8mm wrench and unscrew the main jet with a flathead screwdriver. When removing the emulsion tube, be sure not to turn the carburetor right side up, which could allow the needle jet or nozzle to fall out. Insert the new CVP emulsion tube and hand tighten only. Determine the correct main jet from the included instructions and screw the new main jet into the head of the emulsion tube. Now tighten the jet with a flathead screwdriver, but do not over tighten. Most of the time you can reuse the original bowl seal on the float bowl. At this point, just go ahead and apply a thin layer of clear spark plug boot lubricant to the seal. Spark plug boot lubricant is available at the counters of most auto parts stores, and it's ideal for renewing the seal on the float bowl. However, do not use any sealant on the float bowl. If you suspect that the float bowl seal is bad or may leak, it's best to replace this seal. Place the bowl back on the carburetor, making sure to insert the accelerator pump rod back through the small rubber dust boot and into the hole leading to the pump in the float bowl. Use the supplied stainless steel screws and washers to secure the float bowl back to the carburetor. Alternate the tightening sequence of the 4 screws so that you ensure an even seal. Turn the carburetor upright and insert the slide back into the carburetor. Seat the edge of the rubber diaphragm back into the outer channel. If the rubber diaphragm rim does not seat, use a thin layer of the same spark plug boot lubricant to hold the edge in place. Take the new needle supplied by CV Performance and insert this into the slide through the center hole. Place the plastic slide spring holder inside the slide, followed by the new slide spring. The spring should slide down over the plastic spring holder. Take the carburetor cover and place it over the spring, holding down while you reinstall the 4 cover screws. The cover uses 3 short screws. 2 are located in the front and 1 in the rear left. There is 1 longer screw that installs on the right rear of the cover that also holds the cable bracket to the top of the cover. Reinstall the side screw holding the cable bracket.